evaluate to what extent did the victories of Jesse Owens in the 1936 Olympic Games influence U.S. society from 1936 to 1976. I chose this topic because Jesse Owens defied racial prejudice and discrimination and won 4 Olympic gold medals. Owens is still relevant because of his legacy as an athlete who persevered and fought against systematic barriers that we are still having in society today with issues of inequality and injustice. My topic is about Jesse Owens and how his victories at the 1936 Berlin Olympic Games influenced U.S. society from 1935 to 1976. During the early 1930s, segregation in the U.S. was common, especially in the South, leading to some attention to civil rights and changes in U.S. society. Campaigns by the NAACP were launched, aiming to lessen the inequalities in public education, while in the Supreme Court, the Gwynne versus the United States case ruled that the grandfather clause was unconstitutional. Meanwhile, in Germany, citizens felt humiliated and angered from the agreements of the Treaty of Versailles since they had lost their land and colonies. The treaty also caused instability in Europe since there were many new nations and territory adjustments. This led to political unrest and the rise of fascism in Europe. These tensions from post-World War I were shown through all the unrest in planning the 1936 Olympic Games, since some nations did not like Nazi-ruled Germany and Hitler's plan to promote Nazi ideology and the superiority of the Aryan race through the Games. Because of all the tensions in the U.S. and around the world, during the period from 1935 to 1976, the victories of Jesse Owens in the 1936 Olympic Games impacted U.S. society through the increase of anti-Nazi sentiments during World War II, civil rights activists during the civil rights movement, and athlete recognition for their achievements. One way the victories of Jesse Owens in the 1936 Berlin Olympics impacted society was through the increase of anti-Nazi ideals. As seen in Arnold Lund's autobiography, the Nazis only cared about proving Nazism was better than democracy through victories in the sporting events. Lund said in his autobiography the young Nazis were encouraged to believe the ski race was a competition in which Germans sought to prove not that they were better skiers than other people, but more importantly, that Nazism was better than democracy. The only thing that mattered to them was victory, and all means to this end were justified. The downhill course was closed to all competitors the day before the race, but the Nazis, we soon learned, had practiced the course at dawn. They had also turned the technique of making protests into a fine art. Any decision that could be challenged is challenged in order to provide themselves with some advantage. The purpose of this paragraph was to show how unfair and vicious the Nazis were, even in sporting events, as they took all means necessary to gain advantages. Also, seeing this photo of Jesse Owens saluting the American flag during the awards ceremony at the Olympics disproved Hitler's race theory that the Aryans were superior. During this time, Hitler pushed the theory that the German people were superior through race and culture, thinking that they were above others. This victory caused more people in the U.S. to resent Hitler and fascism because Hitler had lied about the German people being superior race. Additionally, when Jesse Owens became the most successful athlete of the Games, Hitler refused to shake his hand as he had done with some other gold medal-winning athletes. Owens took advantage of his tense relationship with Hitler to gain influence as a man who defends America and its ideals against Adolf Hitler and Nazism. Another way the victories of Jesse Owens in the 1936 Olympics impacted U.S. society was through the increase of athlete recognition. As seen in President Ford's speech presenting Jesse Owens with the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1976, President Ford dedicates a medal to Jesse Owens, athlete, humanitarian, speaker, author, a master of the spirit, as well as the mechanics of sport. He is a winner who knows that winning is not everything. He has shared with others his courage, his dedication to the highest ideals of sportsmanship. His achievements have shown us all the promise of America, and his faith in America has inspired countless others to do their best for themselves and for their country. The purpose of this speech was to congratulate Owens on the achievements throughout his life and his victories in the 1936 Olympics, since he was not recognized by Frank FDR, the president at the time. This shows how the victories in the 1936 Olympics were so inspirational to many even 40 years after they took place. Furthermore, in this image of a parade in honor of Owens by the city of Cleveland when he returned from Berlin, this image showed how many people bonded together from the success of an athlete. It also shows how the Olympic victories provided athletes with more recognition, something that was uncommon at the time. A third way the victories of Jesse Owens in the 1936 Olympics impacted U.S. society was through the promotion of civil rights. In a letter from Walter White of the NAACP to Jesse Owens, White discusses how Owens' victories in running have given Owens a chance to prove racial bigotry wrong. The point of view of this letter was that citizens in the U.S. are hypocrites for criticizing the bigotry of Nazism, but African American athletes can disprove the bigotry of both groups. This shows how many people of color idolized athletes like them to gain more representation and prove that they were similar to white people in many ways. In conclusion, the victories of Jesse Owens in the 1936 Olympic Games greatly affected U.S. society through the increases of anti-Nazi ideologies, recognition for the accomplishments of athletes, and support of civil rights in the fight for racial equity. Thank you for watching.